What's up, MotoFam? We are back again with another MX product review, another set of goggles, and today we are getting into these Havoc MX goggles. I'm super excited. I waited a few days because I had to get them online, but they're here, so let's break open this box. Okay guys, so before we get into this, I always want to show you guys what the price of these goggles are, and normally I'd flip it over and the price would be right there, but as you can see, it is not on there. The only reason why it's not there is because I bought these online. The only downside to ordering these online is when I did get them in the mail, the package had been damaged. This is a plastic box all the way around, so there is a lot of scratches on it. But overall, I do like the design of the box. But let's check out what this actually says in regards to the features that the goggles have. The ones that stand out to me right away are obviously the anti-fog and UV lens, the triple layer foam that we've talked about before on other goggles, as well as the removable nose guard, because having a nose guard is great unless you don't want a nose guard. So let's check and see what this thing is all about. Here's the unboxing. Let's see what this thing came with. So we obviously have the goggle inside, which is super awesome. Set the box off to the side here. Really nice goggle overall. I'm going to set that off to the side while we grab the rest that's in the box. A nice goggle case. But that's it. No stickers, no anything else. Now, I know a lot of people will say like, oh, who cares about getting stickers? But to be honest, if I'm going to have your goggle, might as well put a sticker on my bike. So kind of disappointed that I didn't get a sticker with it, but again, that has nothing to do with the goggle itself. Okay, so now that I have the goggle in my hands, let's just take a quick look at everything. And I gotta say, this thing looks really, really nice. The goggle itself is obviously white and black, and the only reason I chose that color, honestly, is because it was the only one available that would match my gear. Normally, I would not get a white goggle just because they do get dirty, but man, does it look nice when they're brand new. Let's talk about some of the things that I'm noticing right off the bat with this goggle. Now, obviously, the frame is really nice, as well as these outriggers feel super solid. There's no rattling from the nose piece or the outriggers. What I did notice coming out of the box, I'm trying to show you guys, do you see that pitting on the lens? I did try and rub out any of the smudges that my hand may have made or any of the pitting, but again, that is already on the lens. I don't know if that's a manufacturer issue or if that's some sort of issue when it got sent, but either way, that's not super cool. But one thing to note is pitting and the nicks aren't really gonna be seen most likely when I'm wearing the goggle, but I'll put on the goggle just to double check. Let's talk about one of the features that's named on the box, and that's these stainless steel tear-off tabs. Now, Havoc isn't the first goggle company to do a different tear-off tab other than plastic. I've personally never broken a tab like that before, whether they were plastic or stainless steel or aluminum, but I can tell you they do look pretty trick. One of the things that I'm noticing right off the bat when it comes to this goggle is how slim the nose piece is. I have seen some goggles with larger nose pieces, and I'm sure they're great at protecting, but it does make it a little bit harder to fit inside the helmet. So seeing this nose piece being nice and thin is a plus for me. As with all nose pieces, this one is removable, so let's see how hard it is to take off. Pretty easy, not a big deal. Now, as always, let's do the fold test. The fold test is where we take the goggle and fold it in half, and whoa, this thing is stiff. A whole lot stiffer than other frames that I've seen before. Wow, definitely got some spring to it. Even though the frame does feel a bit stiffer, it doesn't show any signs of the lens warping or any pieces popping out while I'm doing this. One of the things that it says on the box is not only is the triple foam for comfort, but they're saying it's supposed to wick away sweat. That's most likely why this felt in red is so thick in comparison to other goggles that we reviewed, but overall really solid, and it does look quite nice. Let's talk about the goggle strap for a second. Now, overall, this is really nice. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's actually a stitched Havoc logo onto the actual strap. Makes it look high end, but here's one of the things that I'm kind of weary of. Now, keeping with the strap conversation, one thing I do want to point out that I was a little bit surprised about is we've talked about on other goggles this rubberized piece that helps the goggle from slipping around on your helmet. The last set of goggles we looked at had a very wide or squiggly rubberized material, and it basically covered the whole portion of the inside of the strap. The strap was definitely not going to move. I don't think that this one will have any issues. It's just surprising to see such a thin layer of that rubberized material on such a nice looking goggle. I don't think it'll make that much of an issue, but then again, you know, we haven't put it on a helmet yet. So speaking of helmets, let's put this thing on. Okay, so for today, we're gonna use a Troy Lee SE4 helmet to test out the goggle fit. So let's do that. Okay, helmet's on. Let's see how this thing goes. Okay, helmet and goggles are on. Let's talk about some of the things that I'm feeling. So number one, the helmet and goggle fit very nicely together. I didn't have to work all that hard to get the goggle in, even with the nose piece. On top of that, the foam is super nice. It is very plush, but one of the things that I'm noticing just for me is it is kind of pinching my nose. I don't know if you guys can hear, I feel a little bit nasally. That's because the foam is a little bit of a pinch on the bridge of my nose. Most likely, as you ride this goggle more, the foam is going to break in, and so that probably won't be an issue overall. Okay, so I've been standing here for about 5 minutes now, and I've been breathing and talking up a storm for you guys, and there is no fogging on the inside of this lens. Absolutely awesome. It's one of the things that's really annoying, obviously, if you're on the track and your lens starts to fog up. Now earlier we talked about some of the pitting that I was seeing on the front of the goggle, but as I have the goggle on now, I'm not seeing that, so I don't think it'll be an issue. All right guys, let's take this thing off. Okay guys, so let's talk about my overall impressions of this Havoc goggle. Now Havoc does have multiple different styles of goggle. This is just one, and this seems to be their price point goggle. Like I said, I picked this up for $55. Overall, I am actually really impressed with this goggle. The features that it has with the anti-fog lens, as well as the stainless steel tear-offs, the nice nose piece is really good. I do think having that embroidered Havoc emblem is just icing on the cake. It does make it look really nice. Now, one thing I didn't mention before is that it did not come with a clear lens. Obviously, adding in a clear lens would up the price of the goggle. But again, I like when goggles give me an option of a tinted and a clear lens. Not a huge issue, just something to note if you go ahead and try and buy these goggles. Outside of that, guys, this goggle is super solid. Check it out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Later.